It was one of those unusually quiet afternoons when the world seemed to slow down, as if nature itself had taken a deep breath and paused. I was walking through a wide, open field, the kind of place that usually offered peace and silence. A stretch of flat, grassy land with nothing but the sound of the wind rustling through the tall weeds. The sun hung low behind a thin veil of clouds, casting a hazy golden hue across everything. It was the kind of moment you wouldn't expect anything tragic or startling to interrupt. But then I noticed it. Something small, something moving erratically in the distance. It wasn't the breeze this time. It looked out of place. I squinted and took a few steps forward. The movement was frantic, jerky, and oddly circular. As I got closer, I realized it was an animal, spinning and stumbling in confusion. My pace quickened, heart picking up as I approached the scene. To my horror, I found a small dog. A puppy, really, with its head stuck deep inside a dirty water bucket. Its entire body was soaked and weighed down by a thick layer of mud that clung to its fur, like a second skin. The bucket, once maybe used for water or feed, had become a prison. The poor pup was pawing at the ground blindly with its front legs, spinning in helpless circles as if trying to escape the darkness it couldn't understand. It must have been like that for hours, maybe even longer. Exhausted, wet, and terrified, it didn't know where it was anymore. At first, I couldn't believe my eyes. How could something like this happen? Was this the result of someone's carelessness, or worse, a deliberate act of cruelty? Who would walk away from such a helpless creature, leaving it alone in the middle of nowhere, blind and vulnerable? I took a breath to calm myself. I didn't want to scare it any more than it already was. Step by careful step, I approached it slowly, speaking in a low, steady voice to let it know I meant no harm. It didn't run. How could it, in that condition? Instead, it let out a soft whimper as I got close enough to reach it. Gently, I wrapped my arms around its muddy, trembling body and lifted it from the mess it had been stuck in. The bucket was jammed tightly. I tried pulling it off, slowly and carefully, while cradling the dog's body to keep it still. But the opening of the bucket was too narrow. The plastic edges pressed harshly against its neck. Each gentle tug made the dog whimper again. I stopped. I couldn't force it. Not like this. I needed to help it calm down. And I needed to clean off some of that thick mud so I could get a better grip. Nearby, there was a small, clean pond. I walked over, sat down by the water's edge, and dipped my hands into the cool water. Using cupped handfuls, I began rinsing away the mud from its body. The dog flinched and trembled at the first touch of water. Still frightened, unsure of what was happening. But slowly, as the grime loosened and my hands worked with gentle patience, it began to relax. With the mud washed away, I was finally able to hold the puppy more securely. I wrapped my fingers around the base of the bucket and tried again, moving slowly, twisting gently, easing it off a millimeter at a time. It was a delicate dance. Too fast and I'd hurt it. Too slow and I'd lose my grip. But the pup was starting to cooperate now. I could feel it. It was like it understood that I was trying to help. And after several tense minutes that felt like hours, with one final twist, the bucket slipped off, and its head was finally free. For a moment, we both sat there in silence. The dog blinked in the daylight, squinting, confused but no longer trapped. I looked into its eyes, soft, brown and tired. It didn't bark. It didn't run. It just leaned into my chest, breathing heavily, as if the weight of the world had finally lifted from its tiny shoulders. I carried it home in my arms, making sure to wrap it in a clean towel to keep it warm. Back at the house, I ran a bath with warm water and set the pup down gently. I washed every inch of it, from its mud-crusted paws to its tear-streaked face. The bath was long, and the water turned brown quickly. But I didn't stop until it was completely clean. With each gentle stroke, I whispered softly, reassuring it, letting it know that it was safe now. Once clean, I dried it off with a soft towel, being careful not to tug at its still sensitive fur. I wiped away the dirt that had settled around its eyes and nose, noticing just how tiny and fragile it really was beneath all that grime. Its ribs were visible under its damp fur. It must have gone days without proper food. I brought out a bowl of warm porridge and sliced sausages, hoping it would eat. The moment it caught the scent, its eyes lit up. It trotted, still a little unsteady, toward the food and began eating eagerly, as if trying to make up for every missed meal. Watching it eat, I felt something inside me soften and ache at the same time. This little soul had been so close to giving up. It had been abandoned, forgotten, left to suffer in silence. And yet, here it was, finding its way back to life with each bite, each breath, each moment of safety. Later that evening, it curled up on a soft blanket by my feet, fast asleep. Its breathing had steadied, and the tension in its tiny body was gone. For the first time, it looked at peace. That once terrified, confused creature was now safe, warm and full. No longer spinning in panic, no longer trapped in a world of mud and shadows. It's incredible how such small lives can carry such heavy burdens, and how just a little kindness can pull them out of the dark. I wonder what dreams it sees now. Are they still haunted by that terrible moment in the field? Or have they started to fill with softer things? Warm hands, full bowls, soft blankets, and the gentle voice it hears every day. I hope it remembers the safety more than the fear. I hope it forgets the darkness of the bucket and the cold of the mud. Caring for it hasn't always been easy. The first few nights were tough. It would wake up whimpering, kicking its legs as if trying to run from something only it could see. I would sit beside it, hand on its back, whispering the same words again and again. "You're safe now." And slowly the nightmares faded. Today, that same puppy has a name, a home, and a bed to sleep in. It follows me around the house, tail wagging, eyes bright. Every time I see it running through the yard or chasing after a ball, I'm reminded of how close we came to losing it, and how one quiet afternoon became the start of a second chance.